Alright, so I'm going to show you how to cook eggs in a basket. You're going to need olive oil. You can use any oil you want, or butter. I prefer this because it's healthy. 2 eggs, salt and pepper if you choose, 2 slices of bread. I'm using whole wheat because it's healthy, it has fiber, so it's good for your body. And I chose butter to spread on the bread. The soft spread is actually good because it's easy, you don't have to wait for it to soften. And the first thing you're going to need to do is grab your 2 pieces of bread. You want to punch a hole in the middle of it. Put your egg on in the bread, and you'll want to use something like this instead of cutting it with a knife, but you can if you like. And like so, you just press in the middle. The bread comes out. And then what you want to do is you can keep that piece of bread in there, the piece you cut out, and then you want to spread butter on it. I've already done that right here, as you can see. So what I'll do is for the first piece, set it right there, and I'll cook the other piece so I have something extra to eat in the end. You want to put the egg right in the middle. And the other piece, spread the butter over it. You don't have to put too much on it. A little bit is better. Less is better. And you want to make sure to put the butter on both sides so it browns a little bit. I'm cooking on a griddle. Some people choose to use a pan. I'm using a griddle because it's a flat surface, so the bread on the corners won't rise and it'll fully cook more evenly. Turn that up a bit. You want to cook it about at 300 to 350. And let that cook. Put the egg in here. And then basically what you're going to want to look for when cooking this is the egg white itself. It'll turn whitish. And more into the edge along the bread. You want it to cook a little bit more along the edge. So when you flip it, the egg doesn't come out or run all over the place. And what you're looking for on the bread is a browning, a golden brown. You can smell the bread start to cook. It's pretty distinct. And it'll pop a little bit, which is good. While that's cooking, I guess I'll pour myself a glass of milk. %. It's good for your body. Less fat. Now it's starting to smoke a little bit, so that means that it's right about done. I'm using a spatula to flip it. And you see the golden brown right here. That's a good sign. Now I like my eggs runny, so I won't cook this as long. And the best way to determine if the egg yolk is not solid, not fully cooked, and a little bit runny, is when you tap the middle. It moves with a wave, type of wave motion. And at this point you can add your salt. A little bit is all that it should need. I add pepper because it gives a little bit of a spice flavor to it. And then you wait. Probably give it about, I'd say, about a minute to 2 minutes if you want it running. The main reason to keep it a little longer on the second side is so the bread can, basically the butter can caramelize and it adds to the flavor. And if you see here, it is browning, which is good. Gives it a bit of a crisp. The reason why earlier I said not to cook it over 300, 350 is because if you cook it too high, first of all, you'll overcook it, you'll cook it too fast. Second of all, if you're using oil, there's a chance that the oil will splatter, and if you get hit, it can burn you. And that's all there is to that. Turn this off. Now it should be about done, which it is. If you look on both sides, if you can pick it up and the egg doesn't fall out, it's done. And as you can see, there's a little bit of browning there. So what I'll do is I'll take these off the hot plate. These as well. Now I can dig in. Before I finish here, I want to put this up so the butter doesn't melt. Breakfast is served. Now, as precaution, after you're done using the griddle, to prevent anybody else from getting burnt, what you want to do is, first of all, unplug it so there's not a chance that it gets electrocution if somehow water gets in there. Not that that's likely. But put it away in a place where nobody's going to touch it. If you could put it even in your oven, which I know it kind of seems a little awkward, but it won't burn anybody there. As long as the oven's off, nothing's going to happen. It'll just cool down on its own. You can even leave the oven door open, or you could sit it on an oven top, stove top, or outside even. So let's give this a try. Now, I prefer mine running, because what happens, the egg runs, and then you can dip your bread in the yolk, and it adds a bit more flavor. Delicious. It reminds me back in the day when I lived with my parents and my mom used to cook us breakfast. The only thing I'm shy of is, well, bacon. So that's how you make eggs in a basket, and enjoy.